Welcome back, NuCanoe Nation. What's going on, everybody? Glad to see you all in here this evening. Go down in that lower left-hand corner, smash that share button. Let's get some folks in here. Drop in the comments where you're tuning in from, what boat you're floating out of, and all that good stuff. Tonight, we got an epic guest, Logan Bloomfield from PA, native to the Susky. We'll get to that. We've seen a couple comments in the NuCanoe group pages with, if you ever have an issue with your boat, please go to NuCanoe's website, go to the warranty or the customer service department, talk to them. They'll get you squared away. If there's a problem, we want to know about it. We want to fix it. We want to take care of you. So please do that. If you got any issues, things like that, the folks at the main office there will be more than happy to take care of you, fix whatever problems you may have. So I just wanted to address that first and foremost this evening. Let's get to business. Let's get our man Logan in the house. What's up, brother?
How's it going?
It's going, man. I know you had an exciting day on the water today. We'll get to talking about that a little bit. But you're from Pennsylvania, correct?
Yep, pretty much central PA.
Okay, right on. Multi-species fisherman, been in a NuCanoe for a bit. How long you been in a NuCanoe? I forgot to ask you that before we kick this show off.
3 or 4 years, I think.
Okay, right on.
4 years.
Right on. Well, what got you into a NuCanoe, my friend?
Stability. Well, I had a couple other brands of kayaks first. Then I went to a demo day and then tried one out, and being able to stand and fish pretty much sold me.
Yeah. I think that sells everybody when they get into a nicer boat, man. Nicer boat. Super cool, man. So you always lived in Pennsylvania?
Yes, yep.
Okay, right on. Well, what got you into fishing, man?
I've been fishing since probably I was 2 years old. My dad got me started. Was lucky enough, my grandparents live right on a private lake right here in PA. It's like a private community, and I pretty much lived on this lake
Right on.
since I was a little kid. I fish a lot.
Well, I know we talked a little bit earlier, and you were like, "Hey, if I'm out on the water, can I just tune in from my phone and do this thing?" And I was like,
gonna
"Sure."
do it.
We haven't done that yet, but it all depends on signal. You know how that goes. So, well, one of these days, we'll do the unlimited live from the water.
That would be awesome.
Maybe I'll host live from the water. I can have somebody run the background stuff. I could ask all the questions while I'm reeling in some bass or something.
Yeah, you need something bigger.
Yeah. Well, let's get into that because you're a multi-species fisherman, man. I had thrown the photo up on the screen. I'll throw it up there now, man. Real nice pike or pickerel. I never know. All right. See, I'm not familiar with the big fish.
Yeah, anything with teeth or big fish. I mean, that's pretty much my thing. I'd smallmouth and everything too, but teeth and giant catfish, fun.
Right on. Was it just a matter of you wanted to catch the biggest fish in the water when you're out there, or was it like something that led you to starting to chase different fish, bigger fish?
Pretty much now I'm starting to get into saltwater. I want to catch some stuff that can whoop my butt.
Okay, right on. There's a catfish from this afternoon that you caught. You said that was what, pushing 30 pounds or something like that?
Yeah, probably mid 30s. It's definitely bigger ones down there where I was.
Just mid-30s, took me for a little sleigh ride. No big thing. Right on, right on. Well, that's cool, man. So I know you first got to use the unlimited today, but you've mainly been a frontier guy, right? And you're running both a bow mount, correct? And you'll throw an outboard on the back as well.
Yep. Me and a buddy actually went to Florida a few weeks ago, and I had both on the boat at the same time, and we put it through the test, and that was on the Frontier though.
Okay.
I haven't had them both on the same time on the Unlimited, but I think it'll actually do a little better, just with that little bit extra length on the kayak and stuff.
Well, you said you had quite a bit of gear in your Unlimited today, and you still felt like you had tons of room to move around and all that.
The stability still was second to none. I mean, I had a bait cooler with 30 bluegills in with about 5 gallons of water in the back. I had my frozen cooler with frozen shad and stuff with an 8-pound bag of ice in it. And then I had my battery box, my trolling motor battery. And I mean, I had a lot of weight in that boat, and it was still extremely stable.
And you were pulling in 30+ pound catfish.
That too.
I like it. Well, before we started, man, and shout out to Catfish there in the background. You guys see that guy walking around there. He's part of a podcast, Rutten River Pursuits. I did a show with them talking about NuCanoe, so go check that out. Shout out to those guys, man. It was a lot of fun talking to them. But you guys were talking to me about the outboard motors, because I've never used one, and you guys were talking about you got a call coming in, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Logan's got some technical difficulties. But you guys were talking to me about the difference between a long shaft and a short shaft outboard and the cavitation that it puts behind the boat. So you wanna go into that a little bit?
Yeah,
absolutely. Let me fix this technical difficulty real quick here.
All right. No problem, man. See, this is why we got Catfish around, man. He takes care of the technical difficulties.
All right, Mike.
Turn it on and turn it back. Did it work?
We got Blaine Upton in the house. He says, "What's up, New Nation?" Tasha Way on YouTube said, "Sup, boys?" Brad Hurlboss, the Professor Romel, Ryan O'Neill. What's up, boys? Glad to see you in here.
You can
you good now, Logan?
Right?
Yep.
Okay. Just my volume so quiet.
All right.
But I can still hear you.
So we were talking about the cavitation and the difference between a long shaft and a short shaft motor. So what's the biggest difference that you guys have found?
With the long shaft, I think it's 18 inches long. I think it sits below the boat, I think 13 or 14 inches. With a short shaft, it sits about 7 or 8.
Okay.
And you can run a lot shallower.
And what about like the cavitation that it puts behind the boat as well?
Well, there's been a lot of conversation. There's been a lot of conversation out there about on threads of guys asking, can I run a short shaft Honda outboard, or any outboard really, that doesn't sit far enough under the boat for cavitation, especially with the way the NuCanoe is, like the Frontier is concave and the Unlimited's got less of the concave on the bottom of the boat. And there's a lot of guys saying, "Oh no, you'll get, you're not going to be able to run," and it's just, we haven't found that to be true on multiple rigs that we've set up. The short shaft, if you want to go with the short shaft Honda, you'll have no issue whatsoever. It really runs true, and it pushes the boat just as fast and true as the long shaft.
Right on, right on. So we got Tosh away in the chat. He says, I run a 2.5 Suzuki outboard long shaft on his F12. He says, works good. Just need some weight in the front. So are you guys feeling that same thing? Like you got to weight down that nose of the boat?
Yep.
Right on.
Pretty
Right
much
on.
it balances it out.
Well, I mean, from all the gear you named off before, I mean, I don't think you got any issues weighing anything down there.
No.
Right on. Well, and you're saltwater fishing too out of this. So are you using, you said you were using both motors. Are both set up for saltwater, or like what are you guys doing to prevent like wear and tear on that stuff when you're taking it out on the saltwater?
Pretty much every time you come back in, you have to wash it down. Just give it a hose bath in fresh water, and pretty much it stays good to go. I was a little leery using my trolling motor because it wasn't saltwater grade one, but I mean I washed it down every time we used it, and so far it hasn't had any problems like corrosion or anything like that.
Yeah, I know that's always a big topic of discussion that I see floating around, like all the group chats and stuff like that is, can I take this out on salt even though I may only do it once or twice, or do I really have to spend that extra money to get the quote unquote salt version, so to speak, so that, so that way I'm not having issues and stuff. So I know I've seen a few guys say, it's just, I just got to rinse it down with fresh water every time I use it and things like that. But you've had no issues is what you're saying, right?
Nope.
Right on, right on. So this is a good question that came in from Borba's Good Eats and Movie Reviews. I'm going to have to go check that out. What size paddle should he get with an unlimited? He's getting a delivery in July. So what size paddle are you using?
I kind of have a smaller paddle just because I only use it when I'm in shallow water. But I would suggest a 280.
Okay, right on.
I mean, I had one before and I lost it, so I just bought a cheaper one to use. And like I said, I use the motor 98% of the time, so I only use it whenever I get in shallow water.
Right on.
I mean, paddling a lot.
Yeah, I paddled mine, I think it was 2 weeks ago now. And I always used, I got a 250, and I've realized real quick, just that one day paddling around, it's a little too short. On the unlimited, the seat sits a lot higher than what the Pursuit was that I was paddling and things like that.
Okay.
I've heard a lot of guys say anywhere between like 260 and 280, but I mean, I think like Logan said, 280 is probably a safe bet. If you're a shorter person, maybe go more towards that 270, centimeter mark, something like that, man. For sure. Thanks for the question, Borbas. If anybody else has got any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Alex in the chat says, salt away. Right on. Brian Pikarowski. Hey, fellas. What's up, brother? Hope you're well. So Logan, you're fishing the Susky a lot, and I always thought Susky was kind of like a shallower river, like a lot of rock outcroppings, things like that. But you're fishing some deep water out there, eh?
Yes, most of it shallow, but if you get down in some of the areas that are real dammed up, like I said, deepest spot I found today was 110 feet, and we were pulling them cats today out of between 45 and 70.
Right on. Right
Not
on.
always down there.
So how you
Just the
fishing
water.
for those catfish?
What's that?
How are you fishing for the catfish? You just using live bait, dragging it on the bottom, things like that?
Uh, we tried live bluegills today. They wouldn't touch them.
Okay.
Usually, live bluegills or something live is where it's at. Uh, Today it was cut suckers and cut shad.
Okay. Okay. Just putting them on a
Using
circle
5
hook with a
ounces.
weight?
Yeah, we're using 5 ounces of like a 5 ounce river sinker.
Jesus. It's like a boat anchor, dude. I mean, you got a 35-pound fish and 5 ounces of weight. I mean, geez.
And half
Jeez.
shad, pretty much.
Alex in the chat. So Salt Away is a product to rinse off motors after use in salt water. So there you go.
Okay.
Does the Honda motor get hot because it's air cooled?
Not that I've found. The bottom, right where the motor connects to like the shaft, sometimes that gets a little hot, but I mean it cools down pretty quick once you shut the motor off.
How long are you typically like running that? Like when you're running out to your spot or something, are you putting like a couple miles on, just, making short runs, something like that?
We sometimes couple miles, sometimes short. Last year we were in the Keys. I think we ran 8 miles the one day,
Okay.
just out to the spot.
So you're making some pretty long runs.
Yeah, yep.
Right on.
But it's like I said, it seems like it'll get hot, but once you shut them, it cools off pretty quick.
Very
And
cool.
none of it's close to the hull.
Yeah, right. So you don't have to worry about plastic melting, things like that. Very cool, man. Very cool. Yeah, the gentleman said he would be worried about getting hot and warping the plastic. You've never had any warping issues or anything like that?
Nope.
Very cool, man. I've never personally used the outboard motor. I know a few guys that have and do, and I've just never really asked questions because it's not something that I would particularly use, so to speak, in my certain fishing situations. But everybody's different, so this is good stuff, man.
Well, the whole thing is I like the ability of being able to go far. I
Sure.
mean, we've traveled long distances snakehead fishing down in the Keys. I'd say you can probably get about 9-10 miles out of a liter of gas.
Okay.
It all depends on if you're going full speed, you can probably get about 8. But if you just half throttle it, you can probably get about 9-10 miles to a tank of gas.
Sir, that's a good point right there. Are you bringing like a gas can with you so you can refill along the way?
Yeah, we have these little red gas cans. Actually, he has one here. It's literally a 1 liter bottle,
Oh, nice.
and pretty much if you bring one of them, you're good to go.
Sweet.
And you can go a long ways.
I like it. Couple long trips out on the Florida Keys. I can do that. What when you guys are saltwater fishing, like what's your preferred species of fish to kind of target when you're down that way?
Mine is redfish.
Okay.
I like sight fishing for reds.
When they're up in the grass and the tides are kind of changing.
I covered 18 miles in 2 days when we were down there a couple weeks ago, and I pretty much hunted them down. It was real windy, and pretty much anywhere you got out of the wind behind the islands, there would be fish there.
Oh, right on.
So all I did was hop to island, miles, and I mean, I did pretty good.
That's sweet. Are you carrying like an offshore radio or something with you, like for safety reasons when you're out there running around on?
Usually I have one to connect with my buddy, and then we had 3 of them. That way we can keep in touch, because some of the places there was no cell phone reception out there.
Right on. What kind of like extra gear are you guys bringing with you when you're out there running around like that? Like safety equipment that folks should kind of think about if they're thinking about making a trip like that, man.
Definitely have an air horn, a whistle, something to make noise, a headlamp if you get stuck out there in the dark, mosquito repellent. They're like pterodactyls down there.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard the mosquitoes are pretty enormous down in the Florida region.
So insane. A safety flag, something that other boats can see you, because some of them boats run them little channels full bore, and they fly right past you, like 15, 20 yards away. It's crazy.
You ever had what's your closest encounter? Like how close have you come to being road runner?
Not too bad. Maybe 30, 40 yards. But literally there was only one little tiny channel that they could run, and the rest of it was a foot of water around it. I was in a foot of water, and they like blew right by me in the channel.
Some big fishing boat, probably with a bunch of outboards on the back, something like that.
Yeah, yep. When we went to the Keys, there was probably the channel was probably 60, 70 yards wide, and there was a big boat, probably 28, 29 footer, and it had 3 engines on the back coming full bore. I bet it put off 3 or 4 foot chop, and me and him, just turning nose into it, and usually you're pretty good. I mean, it's
Sure.
good. That was in the Frontiers. I mean, they were stable enough that it wasn't really anything bad that was going to happen. They were pretty stable. But if one of them caught you sideways, it might be a different story.
Might be going for a swim.
Yes.
I like it, man. That's cool. That's cool. What's your biggest saltwater fish you ever caught?
Good question.
Big snook or something?
Yeah,
Tarpon?
I had 32-inch snook when we were down there this past time. I caught some 4 or 5 foot sharks before.
Yeah, I didn't think about the shark factor.
Down in the Keys, barracuda were everywhere. I bet we caught 70, 80 barracuda the one day.
Well, that's right up your alley, man. You like them toothy critters.
Lots of teeth. I think what else? Went tuna fishing. I haven't had a real big tuna.
Right on.
That's something I want to do off the kayak.
That'd be cool, man. I've seen the videos of guys out on the ocean, catching the big rooster fish and what is it, marlin and all kinds of crazy stuff, man.
That's gonna be a trip to come.
Yeah, man.
I think next year I want to take a trip down to Miami and try to go offshore. I mean, you only have to go a mile or so offshore down there.
Yeah.
Catch sailfish and little blackfin tuna and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. A good friend of mine, he was down in Panama and caught a huge rooster fish. And I mean, he fought that thing for a couple hours. He said, he's like, dude, that is, I've never been so wore out in my life, and it just beat him up. That's super cool, man. Yeah, saltwater, man, that's something I've never done. Like I told you guys, man, that's something I've always wanted to get out there and do, Florida's not my thing, man. It's, humid, big snakes, giant spiders, alligators. Like, no, man,
Yeah, you don't gotta worry about the alligators.
yeah, well, in the saltwater. But if you're fishing freshwater, I mean, you got to remember, I'm mainly a bass fisherman, so where the bass are, there's usually gators, and that just, no, doesn't work with me. Nope. I'll stay here in the Midwest where it's nice and cool. And yeah, the worst thing I got to worry about is a gardener snake.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or an angry beaver. So one of the two,
My buddy actually got attacked by a beaver on one of the creeks here before. Yeah, it bit him and everything. It was nuts.
Oh, that had to have been interesting.
Yeah, I wish he got it on video and stuff. He was trying to beat it away with a paddle and everything.
Oh man. What's a local shop you work with out in your area? Like if folks were in the Pennsylvania area, what's the NuCanoe shop out there that you kind of work with that you direct people to?
Mainly Blue Mountain Outfitters in Marysville.
Okay.
Is the closest dealer to me that I deal with, and I stopped up there the other day to pick up my unlimiteds, and I gave them my information and everything if anyone wants to demo them.
Okay.
They're having a tough time, with everything going on and getting demo boats and stuff. But that's pretty much for all manufacturers, it seems like.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Well, I mean, a lot of excitement around the brand new Unlimited. I know the list is long for folks that have them on order, and they're anxiously awaiting to get their shipments and things like that. Does Blue Mountain have like other models in stock currently? Any Frontier 12s, Pursuits, Flints?
Frontier 10 and a couple Flints.
Okay.
I believe the other day whenever I checked.
Sweet. There you go. If you guys are in the PA area looking to get in a NuCanoe, go check out Blue Mountain. Well, I always ask this question, man. I'm sure you know what's coming. You got a Frontier 12. It's rigged up tandem. You can fish with anybody dead or alive for the day. Who's it going to be?
Oh my. That is very tough.
It's not catfish?
Huh?
It's not catfish?
We fish enough. That's a really tough one.
Any idols? Dad, grandpa?
Yeah, my dad every once in a while. Probably though, one of my good friends that passed away last year.
Okay, right on. Very cool.
That would probably be the one.
Nice, dude.
I would go for.
I like it. Very cool, man. Well, where can folks follow you, like social media wise and all that good stuff? If somebody's out in your area, how can they hit you up to maybe demo your boat and get one on order, man?
And Facebook, just look up Logan Bloomfield. Instagram, it's Fish Crazy 2045. Other than that, Facebook's usually the best place.
Sweet. Very cool, man. Very cool. Well, brother, I appreciate you taking the time out this evening to join us, talk a little NuCanoe, give us a little info on the outboards, some saltwater fishing, and all that good stuff, man.
Yeah, and the smallmouth bite is insane right now.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that, man. Smalley's on the Susky, right?
Susky and all the tributaries and stuff, it's going nuts.
Yeah, I know one of my good friends and one of the hosts on Paddle and Fin podcast, man, he's out in your guys' area, and he's been catching some giants out there in the Susky,
Okay.
man. You know, usually he's struggling, but lately it seems like all he's been doing is catching. All he's been doing is catching. What's your biggest smallmouth?
Off my kayak, probably 21 inches.
That's a tank.
I know a few years ago I probably had one pushing 23.
Nice.
But I know for sure I have a 21 off my kayak.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Right on, man. Well, boys and girls, thank you for joining us again tonight for another unlimited episode. Go check out Logan's social media, give him a follow. And as always, tight lines, smooth paddling. Peace.